Welcome to Plant the Love. We are going to talk about fostering wellness through the power of natural plants and positive mental health practices. I am your host, Ashley Rawson. On our show, you're going to hear from folks who have a lot of knowledge and expertise about this sneaky little subject. If you're curious if this path is right for you, you have come to the right place. We will empower you with information to make healthy, life-changing choices. We're so glad you're here. Now on to the episode. Disclaimer. The content in this show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended for medical advice. It does not take the place of treatment by a medical health professional. Listeners and viewers should consult with their doctor or medical health professional with any medical concerns. I am not a doctor. However, we do work closely with doctors when we review medications. I do not have a medical degree of any kind. What we are discussing has been in no way approved by the FDA. What I am sharing with you has been from my own experience and research. If you are taking any medication, do not make any changes until you consult your doctor. And now, let's start the Plant the Love show.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Plant the Love. Back by popular demand, Dr. Dorrie Abbott. She was the first guest on our show, and here we are on episode 12, and wanted to have her back. She's had, you do everything. You really do everything. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of a reminiscence of how we were brought together. I think it was 2018, 2019.
Yes.
And you want to just share a little bit about your story quickly, and then we'll delve into our little magic wand.
Yes. So 13 years ago, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. And the doctors just told me that was it. That was my life. This was something that I would have to live with. And I wanted to die. I did not want to live like a cripple. And fortunately, some alternative practitioners came into my life that mentioned heavy metals. I had mercury poisoning. I chelated the mercury. I began to change my life fundamentally from the ground up. And here we are today. I never had any idea that I'd be helping other people, but that's always been my desire. So it is good to be here.
Dr. Dorrie, you're not helping people. You're healing people.
Yes. Well, people heal themselves. That's
a good way to say it.
People heal themselves if you give them the right tools. So we make sure their nutrients are sufficient, their toxins are low, and that they have access to all the simple things in life. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is very simple, but very, very powerful.
So she's helped me with a number of different things, and we use sound frequency in her office, which is a topic in and of itself.
Yes.
But she knew that I have suffered from sinus issues. There was 1 year I actually had 7 sinus infections and had the surgery. It was awful. I was awake during that. I think I told you that. I was awake.
Yes.
And the reason he wanted me awake was because when you're under anesthesia, you bleed a lot. And so we were doing the balloon in all 4 sinuses, and one of them did not open, which meant that I was running marathons, 10 fulls and I don't know how many halves with 3 sinuses.
I don't know how you did that.
Well, I don't either. But imagine how much faster my times would have been if I could have gotten more oxygen. So I retired from running and then battled the sinus infections, had the sinus surgery, and then was talking to Dr. Dorrie, and she said, you have got to try this. And I said, I'm willing to try anything. Well, I'm here to tell you this sucker changed my life. Changed my life. What is it?
It is the simplest thing in the world. This is a laser, a small handheld laser, and it runs, it looks the size of a small flashlight.
Yes.
And it has a tip that you can insert into your nose or into your ears. It is fantastic for children who have ear infections or grown-ups who have sinus infections. If you have a cold coming on, we know that if you swab with zinc, that can help the virus not to replicate. But this works on bacterial and viral infections. Not only that, it decreases inflammation because we know red light decreases inflammation, which decreases pain. So it takes away the pain out of swollen sinuses. It also kills off pathogens, viruses, bacteria, mold, and fungus. A great many sinus infections are caused by candida overgrowth in the body. So when candida gets overgrown, It invades the sinuses and the lungs and up into the brain. This kills all of that. 1 minute on each nostril or in each nostril, morning and night. That's it. You don't want to do any more than that. And it's so powerful that you will feel right as rain in no time.
No joke. Evidence. I bought it, I think in May or June.
Yes.
Takes about 2 weeks. You do it steadily. So she gave me a prescription. So I put it on the little red light, put it in my nose for 1 minute, in my nose for 2 minutes on the red light. Then I go to the white light, 1 minute on each side, no more than that. And can I just tell you that my allergy regimen was Mucinex. I also had 2 steroid over the counter, nose shooter upper things. Then my doctor created a antibiotic and steroid, and it was in a capsule. So I had to go buy distilled water, which in St. Lucia was very difficult to find, by the way. Distilled water, put the little capsules in there, put it in my little bottle, squirt it up. I still did not have the results that I have with this. And those capsules are compound pharmacy, which we now know insurance doesn't cover that.
Right.
So it was very expensive to have that and time consuming and messy. And here I just load it in my little padded envelope and travel wherever. And there it is. And it also operates by battery. So if I don't have a charger to forget or anything, I mean, the convenience of this is unbelievable. The results have been unbelievable. And if you suffer from sinus infections, and I had earaches even as a kid.
Well, they're all connected.
Right.
If you got one.
Why does it help so much?
Well, red light is scientifically proven to reduce inflammation. Inflammation causes pain. You can't have pain without inflammation.
I was miserable.
Light is a very powerful antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral. The first thing our great grandmothers did when we got sick was open up the curtains, open up the windows, get fresh air, sunshine, right? We don't do that anymore. No. We stay in our houses and try to stay away from the germs. And this is one of the sun is the biggest red light we know. Right? The sun is very healing. And I don't know why people are afraid of the sun. They're always afraid to get skin cancer. They're slathering, covering, all that. Whereas the sun is very, very strong red light healer. We first started selling these to ranchers because they didn't have time to get off the ranch, go to the doctor if they got cut with barbed wire or whatever. This also, you can unscrew the wand and just have a flat surface. You can put it on any cut, any abrasion, and kill any microbes or pathogens out of it. So it really is beneficial. And the size of it, you could take it on an airplane, you put it in your carry-on. It looks like a flashlight. Nobody's going to question you about it. It's great little product.
I'm sure they come up with all kinds of things wondering what in the world that it is. But yes, and this is quartz. Is this correct?
Yes, it's a crystal. So it's not going to shatter like glass. You could put it in a child's, mouth, ears, or nose. It's great for strep as well. You could shine it back on the tonsils if you had inflamed tonsils, and it's going to heal. But it doesn't shatter. It'll crack clean, and no sharp edges because it's a crystal.
And it came with an extra crystal.
Yes.
So I'm here. It's not cheap, but the money that I have saved from not purchasing the amount of Mucinex and all of the other over-the-counter medications I'm still on an antihistamine. I have bad allergies, but I have cut out the nose sprays, and I was on 2, which were doctor prescribed. That's how inflamed I was.
Yes.
I was miserable. Okay. I thought about this when I was thinking about the show this morning. My life prior to this wand, no joke, and my sinus surgery, a good day was completely dependent on how good my allergies and sinuses were.
Here's something interesting that you might not know. There is a gene mutation that millions of people have that causes them to be hypersensitive and have a hyperactive mast cell activation in their body. It's called DAO. It's diamine oxidase. And when you are low in diamine oxidase, your body cannot dismantle the histamine that's produced within your body. So now it's got to have someplace to go. So it's going to come out the nose, it's going to come out the ears, the eyes, whatever. You're going to be coughing it up, you're going to be gagging it up, whatever. It's got to get out somehow. So the medicines, unfortunately, that people take, so when you have DAO deficiency, you also have a lot of GERD, reflux. So doctors give you something to tamp that down. The very thing that tamps that down also tamps down the DAO. So you're actually causing a worse problem than you had before.
Kind of like steroid shots.
Correct. Steroid shots are nothing but stress hormones in a
Don't get them.
in a needle or in a pill, whatever. They're corticosteroids, and they do work. I'm not saying they don't work, but the cost of that is disruption of your gut microbiota, and of course the weight gain that a lot of people feel, like fluid retention. They're hyped up. They can't sleep. It makes them hot and bothered. This doesn't do anything like that. So I love that product.
Now, can I burn my nose out? I mean, what are there any downsides or warnings to be using a light like this?
Well, I wouldn't let a child use it unsupervised because it's, it can, I don't know what
there's a reason
a child
to
will
time
figure
it.
something out. Yes. And you don't want to overexpose to red light. When you overexpose to red light, if you kill off too many pathogens too quickly, you can kind of feel a little crappy. This product is very low voltage though. It's not even voltage. It's a low lumen, really is what it would be. And it doesn't really have any side effects whatsoever if you use it as directed. But it is a fantastic product. Like I said, we've staved off in our family a lot of things with that. And I do want to offer your guests a special on that. So whenever you're ready to talk about that.
Let's talk about the special.
Okay. All right. So normally this product is $499. Again, it comes with the crystal, but also it has a flat end that you can use for wounds and healing. It's normally $499, but anybody that wants to use Ashley's name.
Yes,
there's
so it's
flat
like a
end.
flashlight.
Mhm.
I did not know.
And it's kind of nice to take, this is a little creepy, but in a hotel room, you've seen people go in and shine an ultraviolet light to make sure things are clean. That's an ultraviolet light. So that will work for that. If you turn out the lights and shine that, you'll see all kinds of things you might not want to see.
I'll have to try that.
But if you want to,
And then you just add
if
the
you want to
tip.
contact her or us, either one, if you want to buy one if you've watched this podcast or a friend shared it with you or whatever, we'll give you $100 off. It'll be $399 and we'll pay the shipping, no problem, and get it to you, forthwith. But also, if you have an HSA card, we don't take insurance per se, but we can take an HSA card.
Nice.
Call me up, give me the number.
So those funds they set back that are not taxed.
Yep, and you want to use it for that, I guarantee you your family will get more than $399 worth of benefit out of it.
Well, I know I've definitely gotten mine because of the amount. I mean, Mucinex isn't cheap, and I don't feel good taking Mucinex. It dehydrates you.
Yeah.
Usually September in Oklahoma is ragweed. Yuck. And I cannot remember a September where I've been this productive because I feel good. Typically in September, I'm hurting.
Yeah, you have been killing it lately.
Thank you. I swear it's because I feel good. When you're inflamed, like I was constantly, and you said it's good to get it out. Well, I was so inflamed and everything was so angry that nothing was moving. So the sinus pressure that I would feel on a daily basis was just, it would knock me out.
So here's the deal. So mucus is filled with sulfur. That's why you get that horrible taste in your mouth when you have a sinus infection. But sulfur is very cleaning and very cleansing, but it has to move. The snot has to move. I'm sorry to say that.
No, it's okay.
The snot has to move. And if it doesn't move, then you're made a breeding ground for bacterial infection. And that's why people end up having to be on antibiotics. If you nip it in the bud with this, you're not going to have to take an antibiotic.
Haven't needed an antibiotic. And like I said, I 1 year had 7 sinus infections. It just seemed like every time I turned around, I was sick. And it was here. This thing is miraculous. I can't say enough about it. It's worth it. I mean, you are investing in your health. Because I don't have the side effect of feeling yucky from the Mucinex, which would always dehydrate me, and the cost of Mucinex. And not only that, I've noticed it if I've gotten it at different places. Sometimes the dosages, even though it said 1,200, sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it was. It seemed like certain locations they might have gotten it.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to someone who said that really those are not an exact science in what's going into those either.
No. I mean, and your body doesn't really recognize things that are created in a lab. It'll use them, but it's kind of like, what do we do with that? It all has to go through your liver, which causes liver issues. This is pure red light. It's not going to hurt anything. And
who would have thought that you put something up your nose that is this beneficial? So at 15:16 here, we're going to take a break and we're going to hear from our sponsor, Osity Labs. They make the finest hemp CBD that is THC free, and the price point is fabulous. So let's hear a word from Osity, and we'll be right back talking about the magic wand.
Over the last several years, the hemp industry has exploded. And Osity is a company from the South taking charge of this new frontier. We start with our own world-class plant genetics and use organic and sustainable farming practices to nurture our seedlings into top-quality flower. Our award-winning team uses a state-of-the-art extraction process to isolate not just CBD, but other complementary cannabinoids like CBG and CBC. We remove impurities and then have our own in-house analysis team check and recheck the accuracy of our extracted distillate that goes into our finished products. Our CBD distillate is over 95% pure. Its integrity is unrivaled. We are the industry standard for purity, quality, and consistency. We have a variety of skin gels, edibles, and tinctures. Try our brand out for yourself, and you'll know what quality really means.
Well, we're back. Thank you, Osity, for that commercial and for sponsoring this, for sponsoring Plant the Love. So many things I want to talk about because I'm very excited about this. We know that red light therapy, you can actually go to a tanning booth and have red light therapy. So it's good for the entire body, not just your nostrils, right?
It is. Red light does an amazing amount of things, more than probably we have time for, but red light has been associated with a reduction in anxiety. And the interesting part is, you're putting it up your nose, which there is a part of the light that goes into the brain. Right. So whenever the brain receives red light, the latest treatment that we're using, and a lot of folks around the country are using, but we're using to reverse and stave Alzheimer's and dementia is by putting red light into the visual cortex of the brain, because it reverses that decline. We have so much blue light exposure and they fight against each other. Blue light is a result of LED lamps and light bulbs, computers, tablets, anything that is LED in nature, which is, a liquid display. And it just suppresses melatonin, number one. So people are wired, but they're tired. Red light is used to help people sleep. You know how it is. You've been in the sun all day and you feel great. This is why everybody loves to go to the beach. You're lying on the ground. You're getting electromagnetic, frequencies from the earth, negative ions coming up into the body. It's called grounding or earthing. You're getting all this incredible, and the sand is really glass in its chemical nature. And so you're getting all this conductivity from the earth, but then you're also getting all the sun and this red light. You go to bed, you sleep like a rock. You sleep like a little kid. Or you've been out in the snow when you're a little kid, playing in the sunny, it's sunny and snow stops and you're out building stuff. And you get exhausted, but in a good way, like you sleep hard. And I know that red light just has that effect on people. It increases melatonin stores, which at 10 p.m. they reach their height and they just flood the body with melatonin. And if you pay attention to that, you can get a good night's sleep. But most of us are like powering through, we're trying to do stuff at 10 o'clock at night. We're trying to get more done, and instead of just resting. But red light is helpful for sleep. It's helpful for melatonin production. It's helpful for reversing dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, we have a whole host of laser products that we sell, but I love this one because it's the least expensive and it has a big bang for your buck, so to speak. It's great for sinuses and ears and throats. And that's kind of what we're going into that season. People talk about a flu season or a cold season or an allergy season. Really, it's not a season at all. We have less sunshine We are around more people. We eat more sweets. From here till Valentine's Day, it is a constant barrage of sweets and foods that we normally wouldn't allow ourselves to eat. Being around people, some of them toxic, that we wouldn't normally want to be around, but it's family. So, you have to be around them. And then you're inside all the time. You're not getting that red light. So it just is a combination of things that cause us to have, there is no cold and flu season, really. There's a season where we don't exercise, we don't get in the red light, we don't have sunshine, we don't eat right, and we are around other people, a lot of people from out of town that have different germs than we do. In fact, that's kind of what allergies is. A lot of allergies are caused by the fact that in the old days, if oranges weren't in season in your county or state or whatever, you didn't eat them. They didn't have mass transit. They didn't have ways of flying green peppers up from Mexico or grapes from Chile. Now we eat all these foods that have different allergens than what we're used to. And that's why some people get really good results from local honey.
Local honey.
They build up that, and there's not a lot of scientific studies that will back that, because those cost gazoodles of dollars to get, funding for that. And nobody's going to fund honey because there's no money in it. No money in the honey.
Right. Well, it's just like there's no money in plants, which is why they put the kibosh on those right away,
not a lot of money
too.
in lights either. These are hand built right here in Oklahoma by a fellow down in Oklahoma City.
I didn't know that.
They are. They're hand built, and we just love that product, and we offer those to our clients.
So, Dr. Dorrie, we are going to put up your name, your phone number, just like we did when you were on the first time.
Okay.
If you would like to contact her directly, you most certainly can. And then you can email me as well, Ashley at Plant the Love TV. And we will be sure to get you in touch with Dr. Dorrie. We will get this beautiful device ordered for you. And you will not believe, I still can't believe it, because it was Mucinex. It was, I had 2 different antihistamines, 2 different nose sprays, plus the Mucinex, and still did not feel as wonderful as I feel now.
Yeah.
Ladies, if it's PMS time, isn't it true we swell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also would get those sinus infections when that would come along,
right,
which would make me even more miserable.
Yeah. Inflammation is definitely somewhat regulated by hormones. When the hormones are a certain way, when estrogen is high, allergies are worse.
They are.
Yeah.
Did you all know that? Estrogen is high, allergies can be worse.
And certain times during the cycle, the estrogen is really high. And that's the times when your allergies are the worst. And you're like, why is it so bad today? Well, there's a lot of unseen things going on there. If you are local and you'd like to get tested for, these gene mutations, we do that here in the office as well. But that's not something we can do across the nation, but that is something we can do here too.
And it's so helpful.
Yeah. Just
to know. And my guest last week, her husband has had a condition, Lewy body, and there was a test for that. I did not know that there was a test. Can you do the Lewy body test here?
No, but we can see on the scan arteriosclerosis. We can see a vascular rigidity in the brain, how much oxygen is getting to the brain. So we know when somebody's suffering that. We can also test for heavy metals. A lot of times that is caused by aluminum and mercury in the brain. So we can test for that as well.
Mercury. They put it in our fillings.
And in our vaccines.
Oh, I forgot about the vaccine.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
But the mercury fillings, yes. And if you have a mental health condition, having that mercury in those teeth can actually make that mental health condition even worse.
Absolutely.
I have read the data on that. I know that for a fact.
Absolutely. And if people are struggling with a ton of allergies, more than your neighbors, more than your family, certain people, and again, they're like, why am I so unlucky? Why do I have this? It is a DAO gene SNP mutation, most likely, where they are not making enough diamine oxidase and they are not able to, but elevated levels depleted levels of DAO are also associated with schizophrenia and bipolar. So many times people have this whole bundle of things. We can take that apart for them. We also do coaching on the phone and talking consults and all that, but we can take all that apart and say, this is this and this is this. It unwinds that big ball of yarn, just to know what's going on in your body and what's going on in your brain. You say there's nothing wrong with you. You just have a gene SNP mutation that makes it difficult to process histamine or to detox your liver or to make enough serotonin, whatever it is. I mean, these things are genuinely hurtful to people.
Do you know what I've noticed is when I sit in your waiting room to see you, usually you go to the doctor and people will come out and you get, that they look sick, or something's wrong. And, everyone comes out of your office just bumping and happy. And I bump out of your office too. I'm like, yeah, I got my red light. I got my, what is that called? The sound frequency.
It's their sound frequency.
It's just sound frequency.
Yeah, the vibrational
so
frequencies.
Vibrational. I thought there was a big fancy name for it,
No.
but we do. We all go bumping out of our office because we feel so much better.
We raise the vibrational energy. And when you have
That's
a high
true.
vibrational energy, happiness, joy is a very high vibrational emotion. So is peace. So is love. Whereas when people are stuck in a form of rage or jealousy or fear or anger, those are very low vibrationals and they will make you sick. When you stay in that state of not trusting people and being in fear. And of course, our whole world is geared toward making us constantly afraid. It's just generating fear. And fear is a very low vibrational energy. The opposite of fear is love. Stretch out your wings, right? We stretch out instead of pulling in. We stretch out. We help others. We reach a hand out. And by doing that, we actually can raise the vibrational energy. And now germs are afraid of us. Instead of us being afraid of germs.
And fear, false
Yes.
evidence appearing real.
That's
It's
it.
not even real.
It's not even real. Because it doesn't matter who wins the selection. It doesn't matter all of these things. I mean, yes, it matters. But in the end, life will go on.
Mhm.
The earth will still keep spinning. And resilience is your only superpower. So we're all about helping people get resilient and get strong so that they can weather whatever it is out there that's, on the horizon.
And love.
Yeah.
Love conquers it all.
Always.
We've forgotten that.
Yep.
Unfortunately. So is there anything else that you would like to add about this lovely magic wand?
No, I think we've said just about everything that we need to say. I don't think anybody would regret purchasing this.
Without a doubt.
And, I wish the best for each of your watchers and listeners.
I strongly encourage you. I know it is an investment, but it's a lot, but think of it as an investment. That's kind of what I had to do, is think of it as an investment. And I'm here to tell you, I can't put a price on how much better I feel versus taking all the stuff that I was taking and putting all those chemicals into my body. And then just one little antihistamine and then this magic wand. It has changed everything. I'm more productive day to day. I feel better. I'm happier. So my whole energy frequency is different because I just don't feel gunk.
I think what I love about it too is it's not made in China. It's not
Right.
coming from Temu.
Right.
It's not going to be like this big and not work and something's going to fall out. We know the people who make it in Oklahoma City. If there's something happens to it, if you need a replacement crystal or something happens to it or it's not working right, we know these people personally and we can get it fixed for you or, have you contact them and get it fixed.
Made in the USA.
Yeah. And it's just nice to know that. That's, kind of old fashioned, but I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like
It's hard to find these days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dr. Dorrie, thank you.
You're
It goes
welcome.
by fast.
I know.
There's so much that we talk about because you're just a plethora of information. We are in a world that I think more and more people are seeking and finding.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy, which I love to hear.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we bomb out of her office. There is a reason because we feel so much better. And I love just seeing you.
Thank you.
Because you're a miracle in and of itself.
Yeah.
So this is an MS story, lesions on her brain, told she was going to be in a wheelchair the rest of her life, and she's changing people's lives for the better every single day. Thank you for working so hard for all of us. And thank you for introducing me to this magic wand. And if you would like one, just get in touch with either one of us. And she is running a special. If you mention the show, Plant the Love, you get $100 off. Thank you. That's very generous.
You're welcome. And it's not like only today or whatever.
Okay.
At any time, if they say, I saw you on Ashley's show or they contact you, we'll give that to them.
And if you want to have a consult so that you go bumping out of the office too, just give Dr. Dorrie a call and see what she can do to help you improve your health, which in turn improves your life. Thank you again so much. Love you dearly. Thanks for everything you do. And we will see you back again next week on Plant the Love. Everybody go out, plant the love, not anger, love, not fear, love. And with that, have a great week, and we'll see you back again next week.